Hey, Tony Gaskins here. Please forgive me. I figure I'd use this time while I'm riding home to get a little video in. And excuse my attire. I just came from my baby boy Tatum had a little Christmas thing where they were singing at the school. But I wanted to send this message to the ladies. And I want y'all to be mindful of this now, because you got to realize that when the adversary does what the adversary does, he does it to everybody, but in their own way. So if my weakness right now is managing money, then that's how I'm gonna be tempted. In my head right now, I'm in a car. I got a car, ain't nothing wrong with my car. My interest rate is great. But every day, my mind keeps saying, man, you probably need this right here. Man, you ought to trade this in and get into that right there. And remember, I did a message to y'all saying, don't buy nothing right now. Because guess what? My interest rate will be doubled if I trade this car in and buy a new car because of where the market is at. Literally, with a 700 plus credit score, they offering a 10% interest rate. And so that temptation, I'm sitting there, I'm looking at cars, because for me, being a faithful man, not being into pornography, not being into gambling, not being into cheating and doing all that extra, my cars is my outlet. And so that's why I be looking, that's why I have my little fun. And so here's the thing. If your test is different, if your temptation, your weakness is different, the adversary ain't gonna test you with a new car if your area is different. So what you have to understand is men being tested right now, but women are being tested as well. And I'm gonna tell you what I'm picking up in the spiritual realm. So for one thing, the media, the commercials are pushing interracial dating. I don't know if that's just to be cool, or if it's a reflection of what they think they're seeing, or if they're trying to send a message. Everything intentional though. And on the other side, what I'm seeing is an emasculation of men. I had to Google the word because we say emasculate and we put that E on there, but it's actually emasculate. When you Google it and hit the little button that pronounce it, it's emasculate. And so men are being emasculated, and it's constant across the board. So one thing that I'm noticing is the bad boy is still being promoted and praised. So it's been a lot of attention to guys who want multiple women. But then the good boy, the good guy, is being disrespected and overlooked. So what I'm noticing is there's this thing of, if you got a good man, you can grab him by the balls and make him do what you want him to do. You talk to him the way you want to talk to him. You talk down to him. And especially if you make more money than him, but even if you don't work, you the woman, you run the house, you tell him what to do. And you seeing it in your reels, you seeing it in your TikToks, you seeing it in the commercials, you seeing it on the movies. And what this thing is, see, everything is about money. And a lot of people don't realize this. Everything is about money. With the world at large, everything is about money. So when they praising black people, it ain't because they feel sorry for slavery. It ain't because they feel like blacks are equal. It's because whoever you empower, they're gonna be spending money because they're gonna be happy. they're gonna feel accepted. So blacks were marginalized and still are to a degree, but now blacks are being celebrated and promoted in different ways. But the black dollar is so powerful. Blacks are spending trillions of dollars, and so you need to celebrate, recognize, and reinforce who gonna be spending this here money. Same thing with women. Women are getting degrees at a very high rate and going into the professional world and saying, hey, the days of being a housewife and being trapped in a marriage is over. I'm getting an education and I'm getting money. And it's so many women who are housewives who they feel trapped because of the narrative. So the narrative online is, if you're a housewife and you are 100% with your kids, you are less than as a woman because you don't have independence, you don't make money, you don't have agency, you are a do girl, you are a maid, and you are less than the boss chick who make money and has her own. But see, we only looking at people grass from a distance. So for every boss woman I know that is a boss woman and that's single, want a man. And every housewife I know that is a housewife want money and a sense of independence. Because no matter what the man say, they can't see the money that he make as theirs. They still see it as it's his. And then what we do wrong as men is when we get in our feelings, we get in our ego, we'll say, and I done been guilty of it, we'll say, man, I work like this and I'm working this hard and I make this money and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I know I done been guilty of it because I was very immature when I got married. And my wife has not worked since we got married because our son was born premature. And so this is what got to be understood. Right now, when you pay attention, and ladies, you got to pay attention, because what these messages going to do, if you are not aware, it's going to make you despise your man. It's going to make you look down on your man. It's going to make you feel like you need to poke your chest out and emasculate your man. Whether you have one right now or you're going to have one. And I saw this video. It was a reel. And I mentioned this before on another video. It was a Caucasian lady. And she said, the words on the screen said, when my husband tells me he'll help me move the desk in a minute. And it had 61 seconds. And the video is her with the desk on her head. And she up under the desk carrying the desk. And so the message is, I don't need a man. I don't need your strength. You said a minute, it's 61 seconds. I'm finna do it myself. Forget you. Versus saying, hey, you a man, you physically stronger than me, and you said you gonna move the desk. The other narration of that reel could have been the same laugh. It could have been, when my husband says he's gonna help me move the desk in a minute. And she could have been sitting there doing whatever. And then it could have said 1 hour later, still waiting. And a lot of people would have related to us, like, oh man, that happened to me. My husband told me, that's what my husband said, he's gonna help me in a minute. But instead it said, no, you told me a minute, it's been 61 seconds, let me move this myself. But see, that energy in a relationship, it is not healthy. Because what it does is it says what you are more capable of doing. If you don't do it on my timeline, and when I say do it, then I'm gonna replace you. And see, people say, oh, it ain't that deep. It ain't that deep. Yes, it is, because the subconscious mind cannot decipher between fact and fiction. You have to speak to your conscious mind. But when you see something, you receive it, you internalize it. And so today, if a conversation is being had, and this is what I've been noticing as a relationship coach and dealing with couples, a lot of times I'm coaching a couple and the woman is talking to the man like he is worthless. I was gonna say like a redhead stepchild, but somebody watching the video might be a redhead stepchild, so y'all forgive me, but that's just a term. I ain't make the term up. Nah. I ain't make the term up, but could be talking about Cinderella. But the woman be talking to the man like Cinderella, adopted mama, or whatever that was, used to talk to her. And I'm like, man. And then now, and not just now, but it's always happened, but now with social media, women jumping at men. Women is jumping at their man. They get into a little argument. It's a lot of women now that blowing up their man. You know, I don't like that you said that. I'll slap you in the mouth. Or, you know, getting up. And it's like, whoa, now where did, now what? Now who done put this here battery in your back? Because I'm gonna tell y'all something now. I'm gonna tell y'all something. And I'm telling you this as a man. Okay, I want you to understand that the smallest man, the way God made men and women, every woman has to be aware that the smallest man is physically stronger than the largest woman. The way God made man and woman. There are exceptions to the rule. But what I mean by that, a woman who is stronger, she is uniquely gifted or she is highly trained. So what I mean by that, if I get in the ring or if I get into a fight with Layla Ali or Clarissa Shields, I could be in for a long day. But I guarantee you, anytime, if it's a man of their same weight, if a man of their same weight, if they hit that man, they could knock that man out now. But if that man hit them, they definitely be knocked out too. And so, and they could last until he get a lick. And I need you to understand that, because what the world is saying is emasculate men. Men are punks. You could control your man. Men love bees. So talk to them like this. Talk to them like that. You know, disrespect them. And this happened a lot in the white race. And I've seen it a lot in the white race with white men. I've seen it a lot, the way their woman talk to them. With black men, we come from something different. So it happens. But the sister that's doing it, she come from something different. Like, she was raised by the wolves. Like, she all the way out there. She done whooped men in her life. She ain't scared of nothing. So, but she's an exception. But now what happened is, black women, Hispanic women, they start to see the emboldenedness and the empowerment of the white woman, and they start to drink that same Kool-Aid. But you got to remember now, white women confident because white people have run America. So it's the white man, then it's the white woman. And then that white woman being right after that white man, she over every other race of man and every other race of woman in the hierarchy of America's standards. Not necessarily in your mind or in my mind. We understand people are people, but the narrative and the power structure that America gives, that the banking system gives, that the housing market gives when you're trying to get a loan. And so understand that. So it's like this right here. You got to be careful. You have got to be careful of the messages you're receiving. And here's the thing, we all want to feel good about where we are. So a boss woman, she's gonna promote her lifestyle. And if you could be married and a boss woman too. Meaning a corporate woman, hard worker woman, business owner, career, job. It don't mean you got to own your company. Be a boss woman in the way I'm describing it. But a lot of boss women are single because they married to their job, they married to their career. And so because they have a business or they need clients, even if they work for somebody else, they got to promote their job. So they live on social media. So they live on social media and they promote that lifestyle. And they promote that lifestyle, and their voice is the loudest, because if a woman is a homemaker, a stay-at-home mom, a housewife, whatever term you use, if a woman is that, she may be more tied up tending to her household, and she doesn't need clients. She doesn't need business. So you don't hear her voice as much online because she posting pictures of her kids, you know, and of her hobbies, but she's not selling unless she turns being a stay-at-home mom into a business, which is very rare. So the narrative is created by boss women who need clients because they have to make money because of the lifestyle that they have established. So because of that, they are doing the marketing. They're creating the narrative. And so this becomes the alpha female. And now she sets the standard, she sets the tone, she sets the bar for all other women. And women envy her, and women look up to her. And women do not get to see her lonely moments. Women don't get to see the nights that she is crying and she is frustrated with God and she's saying, where is my husband? Women don't get to see that because that doesn't sell. So you're not going to do that part. You ain't gonna do that part. This car in front of me went to braking so late, and the car behind me flying, and it's like people get comfortable driving crazy, and it's like, listen here now, we on a normal little road, and then that car say baby on board. It done pull out from around me now. I'm in a 663 horsepower car. It done pull out from around me and flew, and the car say baby on board. So listen to me now. You're not gonna see that because that don't sell. That make the lady who did it, she looked bad. She made herself look bad. I did a reel on it on Instagram. She in the car crying, talking about she this age, this, never had a relationship, she lonely, she miserable. And I'm like, come on now. You can't show that kind of weakness. Cause when a man see you, he know you desperate now. So now he know he could use your credit. He know he could move into your house. He know he could put hands on you. He know he could cuss you out. He know he could cheat on you because you literally behind your steering wheel crying about being single when the whole world is in front of you and you could conquer the whole world. You crying about being single. And so guess what? The boss woman not gonna show that vulnerability. She ain't gonna show that side. So then every single housewife and every single woman who may not be a housewife, but she may be married, and she may got to put her money into a joint account with her husband, and so she may not feel like it's hers, and she may not be able to just spend how she want to spend, do what she want to do, because when you with somebody, you got to come to an agreement with this person. So here you have it. And now here go the car that got from behind me and sped up, is right here in front of me at the light. That's a life lesson. Going nowhere fast. Just steady yourself, stay the course, pace yourself. You gonna get there. Because that little sprint of speed ain't gonna do nothing but steal all your energy, steal all your wind, and you still gonna finish the same time as a person who kept a steady pace. Stop rushing. So now listen to me. So now, when this woman paint this image, and that's why the pastor said, do not compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. So in relationships, you're gonna have arguments, you're gonna have disagreements, you're gonna have bad days. But when you go see a reel of a woman who get to do solo travel, she get to go shopping when she want to, she ain't got to answer to nobody, to kids, to a man, you're gonna covet her life and say, man, if you don't look and really think about it, if you don't really process that, you know what, everybody got problems, everybody got pain, everybody got something that they unhappy about, everybody got dark moments. If you don't tell yourself that, you're just gonna see her highlight reel, and you're gonna see your behind the scenes, and you're gonna compare the two. And you're gonna compare the two, and then you're gonna be disgruntled and ungrateful and upset with your situation, and you're gonna try to manipulate your situation, or you're gonna try to control your situation, you're gonna try to change your situation, but in a negative way. And now you're trying to live someone else's lifestyle when their lifestyle is set up completely different than your lifestyle. And if you live their lifestyle, it will destroy your lifestyle. And that's what has to be understood. And this is the spiritual attack on women, to get you to be discontent with the state and the season you're in, because you may be single and there is contentment to be found in single life. But when you go look at all the reels of the married couples or the couples, it makes you feel ungrateful and unhappy, and you might even get angry with God and start to hinder your blessings, because you operating from a place of frustration or despair, desolation or anger, and now you upset. So now you single, and instead of being content with a smile on your face and a pep in your step, you walking around with your head down, and you look discontent, and you look mad or angry. And so you walk right past your husband, and your husband was looking at you the whole time you was walking, and all he was waiting on was 1 second of eye contact, a closed lip smile, and a head nod. That's all he was waiting on. And that would have let him know, ooh, let me slide in there. Ain't no ring on that finger. Ooh, hey, excuse me, man. Wanted to know, I saw you and you look amazing. And how are you doing today? Oh, I'm doing fine. How are you? Oh, I'm great. I want to ask you, you wouldn't happen to be in a relationship, would you? No, I'm single. Wow, okay. I know this is weird. I know we live in a crazy world, but the Bible said a man who finds a wife finds a good thing, and I've been looking. So I wanted to know, could we possibly exchange phone numbers or even a social media handle so I could DM you? That's all he wanted. He wanted that one little second so he could come up and just make his spiel. Whether he got him a line or whether he just gonna lay it out there about what it is. Either way, you gotta respect it, because it take a lot for a man to approach a woman. Either way, you should respect it. Whether he got a corny line about, does it hurt? And he said, what? When you fell from heaven, you know the line they say on all the movies. Whatever he say, you gotta appreciate it. Long as he don't say something nasty and vulgar, then if it's corny, if it's cute, if it's just plain and basic, direct, you gotta appreciate it. But that's all he wanted. But see, because you've been looking at the reels, and I'm gonna tell you, when you look at these reels, man, you can't believe that the couple ain't happy. You can't believe that the couple ain't happy. But the couple could have just got done fighting. I know that because I get to go behind the scenes in these couples. The couple could have just got done fighting. The woman could have just found out she got cheated on. But guess what? Now they got a house, they got kids, and these reels is paying bills because they getting sponsorships, they getting paid by the views. These reels is paying bills. And so now they got to suck it up. And if we not gonna divorce, we got to keep pumping out this content. So let's fake like we happy for a second. Let's get this reel done in a few takes, and then we could go back to our silent treatment. And that's very, very, very real. But we believe what we see, so we never even consider that. Now, they could actually be a happy couple, but even if they are a happy couple, does not mean you should feel less about your situation. That don't have nothing to do with you. And a couple could be happy overall, but that don't mean every day is gonna be happy. That don't mean you're not gonna get into arguments and disagreements, and that you're not gonna go through seasons of disdain and just not really happy. There's seasons, and when I say seasons, this season could be a year. This season could be 2 years, to where you just not at your highest level of happiness. And that is relationships. But we live in a world that everybody is so conditioned to just always think that you're supposed to be happy. Life is not about happiness. It's about productivity. So what I mean by that is, that doesn't mean you suffer in silence and in pain for the rest of your life. What it means is, when the season is not joyous, you find the good in the season, and you work to change the season, and you pray that it passes you. And if you find out that this is not changing, this is not passing, but this is humans, and humans could change, meaning you have somebody that's disrespecting you, cheating on you, putting hands on you, verbally, emotionally, physically, any form of the A word, and this is something that they're not changing, and they're not trying to change, and you addressed it, and they ain't making no change, they ain't making no effort. Now you change your season by changing that relationship, by leaving the relationship. But don't think that you're not gonna go through seasons of spiritual warfare, where you fussing and arguing and you going through things. Don't think that. So you're gonna have some times where you going through some things. That's every couple. That's every couple. I know even in my relationship and the relationship that I coach, every couple go through their little seasons. But the goal is, are you working? Are you working? Is the man working? Is the woman working? Are you trying to get better? Are you trying to change? If the answer is yes, then you're doing what you're supposed to do. If the answer is no, then it's time to go. So listen to me. Be very careful. Be very mindful of the messages you're receiving. Be very careful and be very mindful of the messages you're receiving, because it's programming you to be discontent with your situation. So, and here's the thing, it's the adversary, and it's gonna work on both sides. So the person who feeling empowered, if they disempower the man and empower the woman finna have more spending power too, because she empowered. And then if they make you feel discontent with your life because a reflection of you is not being shown, then you also gonna seek retail therapy. And at the end of the day, both of y'all spending money. And a lot of times you spending money on a credit card that you finna be paying 24%, 22, 24% interest on. So now you making the stores rich, and you making the banks rich of them credit cards you spending on and paying interest to. And then what you doing is just depleting all your earnings, because you got a 401k, but your 401k is only gaining 8 to 10% a year, but your maxed out credit cards is costing you 24% a year. So you still paying 12% interest, even with your 10% earnings. So here's the thing that we don't think about a lot of times. And this is what we got to realize and understand. So think about where you operating from, and are you discontent? And why are you discontent? And who are you looking at? Who are you comparing yourself to? And how are you treating and viewing men? And is that coming from what you're seeing on social media? So even with my messages, you have to take the angle. You got to choose what side you're gonna look at it. Some people come in the comments and be like, oh, this is depressing me. That's your mindset. And some people come in the comments and say, this is empowering me. So some people say, this is giving me the knowledge I need to not get played. And then some people say, oh, this let me know I'ma always get played. So it's all about your mindset and your viewpoint and how you look at it. And that's up to you. Nobody have power over that other than you. So, hey, this Tony Gaskins here. God bless you. Hope this made sense to you. And share this. Share this with a man who say, oh, you don't never tell the women nothing. You never, who don't realize that I'm telling the women something every day. And it's stepping on toes of women every day. Even if I'm giving advice about a man and what to look out for, it's still correcting the woman on not getting played. And women don't be liking that, because they be like, well, don't tell me how not to get played. Tell the man to stop playing. So it's like, boy, you can't do right for doing wrong. You can't win for losing. Send this one of them old men. And to the women who talking about everybody pandering, everybody pandering. Hey, this Tony Gaskins. God bless you. We'll talk soon.